Hi, everyone. We are back to another interview time. So, what I'm going to be showing you today is, first off, getting set for that interview. So, I'm going to come into my note catcher here, this Google Doc, and I'm first going to put my name up top. And remember, we're trying to interview someone new each week. So, today, instead of my mom, instead of my sister, I've already got stories for them. I am going to be calling my dad. And my dad's a little silly, so I'm hoping he'll keep it together for this phone call, but we'll see. So I'm going to call my dad, and then I'm going to say all of this. I learned how to generate a narrative idea from reading another author's work. I read the story, so pick which of those stories you want to focus in on, because we're going to give a quick summary to whoever you are talking to. I'm going to pick slower than the rest. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to highlight that by coming up to this paintbrush looking tool and giving that a highlight. That's just my reminder when I'm reading this script to my dad on the phone that that's the story that I'm filling in the blank, which is about a boy who finds a turtle on the road. The boy relates to the turtle because the turtle is a slow animal and he struggles in school. He brings the turtle in for a presentation about fire safety and how slow animals struggle to get out of forest fires. He ends up winning with the best presentation, and he feels so smart and fast. So that's my quick summary. That when I call my dad, I'm going to give him that because he hasn't read slower than the rest. So he needs to understand what the story is about to understand how we got this inspiration. So then I'm going to tell him about how this inspired me. And the story that this inspired for me was about, so this inspired me about one time when I was in the 5th grade spelling bee and I really wanted to win. I got out in the round before the finals with the word bulletin. I was so sad that I was trying not to cry in front of all of my friends. That night at home, you and Mom reminded me how I should be proud I made it that far, and it made me realize that you were right. I don't need to win to be proud of my achievements. So when I call my dad, I'm going to use this script to go through exactly what I'm going to say on the phone to him. So I'm going to say, hello, Dad. This week at school, I learned to generate an idea from another author's work, and I read the story slower than the rest. I'll summarize that story for my dad. You did a different story. You'll summarize those other stories. And then I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to read about my story that inspired. Finally, then I'll ask my dad about what this makes him think about in his own life. Now, I've texted him. I'm going to wait and see when he's free. So I will see you all later for when it's time to call my dad. Okay, everyone. My dad said he's free now, so we're going to try to give him a call and hopefully he'll answer.
Hello.
Hi, are you ready to do my interview?
Yes.
All right. Hello, this week at school I learned how to generate a story idea from reading another author's work. I read the story slower than the rest, which is about a boy who finds a turtle on the road, and then the boy relates to the turtle because it's a slow animal and he struggles in school. So he brings the turtle to school for a presentation on fire safety and how slow animals struggle to get out of the forest, and he ends up winning the best presentation and feels smart and fast. So then that story inspired me to write about a time when I was in 5th grade and I was in the spelling bee and I got out the round before the finals and I was sad and trying not to cry in front of my friends. And then that night at home, You and Mom reminded me that I should just be proud I made it that far and I don't need to win everything. So I was wondering if you could tell me about a time in your life that this story reminds you of, the story about the boy with the turtle.
Let's see here. Probably. That's a good question. I think probably the closest thing I can think of is going into, it was like sixth grade or seventh grade. I was going to go out for tackle football. I had talked to Mom and Dad about it. The problem was all the games were played on the weekend, so they wouldn't allow me to. But that isn't really close to that.
That's okay. It can be any kind of memory. It doesn't really have to make sense of why it reminds you of that.
Okay. That's kind of, because you're just so disappointed.
Yep.
Time. But yes, in the end, I don't know.
Why wouldn't they let you play on the weekends?
Well, we were in the band at the time. That, I think, was the priority.
I'm typing it 1 second.
Trying to think of any other things that would be closer.
Oh, that's a good story. Did your friends play football?
Yes, a couple of them did. Actually, two of them played all the way through high school. My life changed a lot after that, so it didn't really matter.
All right, perfect. Well, that is all I need from you right now.
Okay.
All right, talk to you later. Bye. Love you. Bye. So when you're giving this interview, it is a little different because you're trying to spark a memory. So when you're asking people in your life, remind them, like I had to remind my dad, it's okay. It doesn't have to be like you also gave a presentation at school with a turtle because most people haven't done that. But anything can spark your own memory. The same way when someone's telling a story, sometimes all of a sudden you're like, oh, this reminds me of a time when da da da. So remind your people when you're interviewing them, it doesn't have to be a story that is anything even like what you just told them about. Just let it spark a memory from their life, anything from their life. So I have some information from him. If I choose this story, I'll probably need to ask him a little more questions. But for some reason, that just sparked his memory about wanting to play football as a kid and being disappointed and not being able to. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with and what you hear from your people.